Good evening, everyone. Welcome to closing comments here for April 27th. Let's jump right into our charts and see we kicked off week 17. First on the board today, we got our June live cattle. We did see some nice upside here across this cattle market today, both live and feeder prices posting some nice gains here as the bulls get the ball rolling higher early this week. This June live contract hit the ground running, opening and rallying off that opening range, rallying all day long here as we saw steady buying activity throughout the entire session today. Nice push up there towards 249.5, finishing the day at just shy of 249. Increasing volume here, above average volume here for this rally, getting this uptrend back on track. We should see pretty smooth sailing to the upside here. The bulls look strong here so far this week. Next stop is going to be this high volume node from this prior week here between 251.30 and 252. That's going to be the next target for the bulls, so we should see them continue to drive this market higher as we go over into tomorrow's session. From there, just should be pretty smooth sailing up into those all-time highs. This uptrend remains intact. We continue to find good support. Really nice start to the week here for these bulls, and we should see them continue to push this market higher throughout the rest of the week. Should see this market knocking on those all-time highs here before this week is up. Next up, we got our August feeders on the board. Same story in this feeder market. This thing seeing a nice rally off that opening range today, immediately pushing above that bull pivot there, which was Friday's high, and continue to see good buying activity all day long. Lots of volume getting built up here between 368 and 369 into the close. This market needs to get an early bid above 369 tomorrow. Should see a pretty quick markup here towards 375. So bulls are rolling here. Really nice start to the day. Above average volume here, hitting the ground running. Good support last week. All signs are looking up for this cattle market. Both live and feeder prices should continue to head up there towards those all-time highs here throughout the remainder of the week. Next up, we got our July corn futures on the board. This market seeing some nice gains here today. Pretty strong rally on increasing volume here right up towards 470. However, we couldn't get a breakout or close above it. So in that case, we're still expecting to see some resistance here at 470. So look for the sellers to start getting active here in the next day or two. If we get a close back here above 470, if we get another day with action like today, and a strong close above it, we could see a markup here for this corn market up there towards 485, but we still expect to see this resistance hold at 470. We'll have to wait and see how tomorrow's session finishes. Close above or below here is going to lead the next leg, so just have to wait and see how this market trades around 470 during tomorrow's session. But we are still expecting some choppy range-bound conditions here, so look for this resistance at 470 to hold and try and drive this market back down here towards the midpoint of this range. This corn market has been choppy recently, and we don't really expect to see that environment change. Next up, crude oil prices are continuing to tighten up here today. Inside day Friday and another inside day here today as this market kind of is coming to a point. We are putting some pressure up on this 98.39 bull pivot, which was last week's high. Nice concentration of volume here coming to a point. This crude market isn't really giving any clues here at the moment, but we can see this action tightening up, and a heavy concentration of volume is showing this market's ready to make a move one way or the other. Look for early bids if we do get any sort of sustained momentum above last week's high and our bull pivot here at 98.39. Wouldn't be surprised to see a nice little pop up here towards 105. This market looks like it's probably capped out on the upside, so we don't really expect to see a real sustainable up move, barring any sort of major escalation. But this market might be good for a little bit of pop here as we clean out some of this volume to the upside. Look for this market to use today's range as kind of the breaking points above today's high. Should make a nice little pop up there towards 105. But if this thing does kind of settle back down below today's low, look for it to attack that bear pivot and eventually start to bleed back down here towards the $80 mark. Not really expecting a whole lot of sustainable upside for this corn market, but we are still, crude oil market, but we are still kind of in a volatile environment, so wouldn't be surprised to see some spikes here and there. But this crude market is probably about capped for the upside, and we shouldn't see any major breakouts towards 117, 118, barring any sort of escalation there. So look for this resistance to hold up here right around this 98, 97 lane. If we do start to break down below today's low, we should see this thing bleed back towards 80, but we are just kind of on the verge of a nice little breakout here due to some positioning. So look for some good breakouts either direction tomorrow. This crude market is just going to continue to digest all this recent volatility. Not a super good directional market here at the moment, so just continue to steer clear of this one while it sorts out this mess we've made here in the last couple weeks to months. And next up, our equity indexes seeing a little bit of upside here today for the S&P. Kind of mixed action here in the Nasdaq and the Dows. They did just kind of balance out, not really making any major moves. Nice tight ranges here across all of our indexes. But the uptrend still remains intact, and we expect to see some pretty smooth sailing to the upside here. Just a nice slow steady grind as long as we're trading above 7,200. However, this market has been a little bit extended here, so if we do start to pull back, probably would be healthy for this market to come back down here and kind of cool off a little bit after this multi-week rally straight back to these all-time highs. But as we know, this market isn't always rational. So we wouldn't be surprised to see a nice smooth sailing here back towards 73, 7,400 here throughout the remainder of the week. As long as we can trade above 72, it should just be pretty slow, steady grind to the upside for these indexes. So look for that line in the sand to be the difference between potential pullback or continued balance period, or just continued straight one-way streak. So this market continues to be a pretty healthy environment. Keep putting money to work. We should see more upside here over the long term. In the near term, we might see more balanced action or a little bit of a pullback, but dips will be bought back up, and we will see the stock market continue to rally here into the spring and summer months. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in here tonight. We'll catch you guys tomorrow.